Good evening, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to episode 137 of New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. I am Gary Redmond. Greetings and salutations. So, we didn't win on Saturday, which was the bad news. The good news is we didn't lose either. So, while we're going to be commiserating dropping 3 points to the eventual team, the Orlando City FC, we're going to go through that. Sorry about the lighting situation. We're going to actually discuss that with our two co-hosts, New York Red Bulls and, of course, Orlando City FC. Of course, there is a game right after that. This is a 2-game homestand, and that means that Toronto comes north to the Cathedral to take on your Red Bulls. Of course, that's kind of funny because Toronto didn't, they're looking for their very first win, while the Red Bulls have won. That's going to be a very interesting thing. And, of course, New York Red Bull 2 and Gotham FC, they got their season underway. They're playing Philadelphia Union 2 as we speak. We're going to give you guys an update as we go along. We're just coming into halftime right now. Last time I checked, Union, it has a 1-0 lead over the Young Guns. And, of course, we say this all the time, every time we go on air. This is your show. And the reason why we say this is because we're so proud to put it together for you folks. But even then, if you missed the live show, don't sweat it. You can always catch the on-demand recording on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, of course, our home that's always been there from the very beginning, Spotify.com. And all new episodes are uploaded the very next day. And we say that this is your show because we want to know how well we're doing. So we welcome any feedback, good or bad. Let us know, okay? We have an email address, so please shoot us one at RBDG, the podcast at gmail.com. Once again, that is RBDG, the podcast at gmail.com. And last but not least, being Monday was also a holiday for folks, of course, in Irish descent. And, of course, it's La Pareg Suna Duju. So, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Hope you guys are out there enjoying yourselves. And don't drink too much because you got to go back to work on Monday. So, hope you guys are having a good time. And last but not least, of course, we did not win the weekend, so there will be no horn. So, with all that said, let's bring, of course, my two wonderful, not even co-hosts. They're basically the stars of the show. Miguel Nunez, live from Casa de Nunez. And, of course, in the wonderful start in New Jersey. And, of course, the one, the only, the model, Lanre Badmus. So let's get things started by asking a very simple question. How was your weekend? And please, guys, no Arsenal versus Chelsea rant today. I'm just not in the mood.
Well, thankfully, I couldn't let the stupid Chelsea Arsenal game ruin my mood. It was a pretty solid weekend. I made my first visit to the Cathedral this season. Since the rebranding, and we got a really good spectacle. It was a pretty good game of football. I thought we were very unfortunate to not come away with the full 3 points, but we also could have lost that game. So, there are plenty of positives to take away from that performance. Raheem Edwards not being one of them.
Hold that thought. Miguel, this is something that we talked about this on a pre-show. You said, you were very blunt about it, just like Lanre was. The team left 2 points on the table. Did they?
Right. Yeah, they did.
You were drop dead blunt, Viper style.
There were some like defending that was just awful. Okay, but never mind that we sort of spotted them 2 goals.
True.
Yeah, we spotted them 2 goals.
Could have sworn it was 2 when I was sitting in the 10.
No,
I must have missed something.
Yeah, but even after that, we should have taken all 3 points, okay? If you examine those 2 goals...
Which we will all see in a few minutes.
Ridiculous. Noah Aile was responsible for that first goal, okay? If you look at what happened, all right, that guy was, the Orlando guy, started received the pass and he's streaking towards the goal, but Noah Eiley, for some unknown reason, he veers to the wrong side of the guy. He's got to come to the guy's right to have, to block the shot or make a shoulder challenge.
In other words, put a hat on him, but unfortunately,
outside of the box.
He went coast to coast and nobody stopped him.
He went to the wrong side. How many times have we talked about, defenders who get on the wrong side of the attacker? That's exactly what happened. And the other goal, man, Edwards, I don't know what he was.
Edwards.
With this team, they play a high line, and they're almost by the midfield line, except that Edwards isn't looking at the line. He's like 5 yards behind everybody else. I thought when it first happened, that guy received the ball, and I thought he was offside.
I did too.
I thought he was offside, but Raheem Edwards was keeping him on. Okay,
and that's why he was on, because Edwards, this was his first starting, assignment. So, of course, naturally, he was going to be a little rusty. He was also coming off the bench. I'm not making excuses. That's basically how it was, especially when we talked to him after the game. For the most part, he did redeem himself a little bit, picking up an assist. So
sort of, yeah. He passed the ball to Stroud, and then Stroud crossed the ball in, and Genjar scored like with his thigh or something,
Yeah, that was nice.
So, you know what? I gotta give the man of the match to.
Hold that.
Okay.
Hold that. Don't give that away just yet.
Okay, fine.
But first, before you did that, of course, naturally, this is what Miguel and Lanre was talking about. We're going to give you the recap of what happened on Saturday, and pay attention to the first two goals, as Miguel and Lanre mentioned.
Recent game, a defeat last week at New York City, and here at Sports Illustrated Stadium now, we are underway. Glad you've joined us to get match day 4 in ML. Stroud takes advantage of space, plays ahead. Here's Choupo-Moting on the right foot, plays this ahead. Shot saved by Galese!
Because then what Orlando want to do is, like this, take advantage of the space that's been left behind by centre-backs and wing-backs.
What a touch by Muriel to send Orlando City on its way. Long-range shot, goal!
So what? All of a sudden you see both the right wing-back for Red Bulls and the right-sided centre-back. They've gone forward. They've been bypassed.
Edelman ahead. Choupo-Moting trying to run onto this. Janssen there defending. Got to rise out of the crowd for the first one.
I think it is for the first one, and it's this one with Choupo-Moting and Janssen. The system here does the centre forward sort of create this by putting his foot in front of Janssen. So Janssen is basically just running, and he's not looking to kick out himself. I think it's a harsh one myself if it is given.
We have a decision. Penalty. 29th minute of the match. Eric Choupo-Moting for the Red Bulls steps up. Tie game.
Far in the corner. Choupo-Moting, as you quite rightly say, up and running now. You've already seen, because you had Cartagena, who's obviously one of the best in the league.
Flag stays down. Opportunity here. Pasalic in alone. His shot, goal.
That it was going to be offside, but nope. Absolutely zero chance. A great run from Pasalic. Had a look across the line. Saw that Edwards was stranded.
Forsberg able to whip this in. Header by Choupo-Moting. Saved by Galese. And it's out for a corner. Maybe the final strike of the half. Able to lay this off. Stroud to the far side. Edwards back for Peter Stroud. Able to whip this across. Tie game. Yengor there. It's 2-2.
Good play then, because the ball comes into the box and Yengor's just been played onside by Smith, who's just out the pitch.
Here's the Red Bull captain. Forsberg centrally. Able to whip this ball in. Shot goes wide. Oh, it fell perfectly for Edwards, who Fends off Angulo, gives to Choupo-Moting. The back heel, Nealis with a shot. Save made by Galese. The rebound there for Edwards. He couldn't tee it up in time. First against Philadelphia. Here comes Ojeda, able to work this across. Orlando City into the attack. Long-range shot goes wide. That was Pasalic looking for his second of the day. Absence to their midfield today with Cartagena already out for the season. Muriel, long range. Coronel says, I've got it. Draws Edwards into the 18. Freeman. Here's Pasalic. The return from Marco Pasalic. Looking for a lane to shoot. He does! Parried away. Coronel. Best moment of the day for Carlos Coronel. Kyle Smith fends off the challenge by Dylan Nealis. This is loose in the 18. Ojeda looking for it. His shot goes wide. Martin Ojeda. They work it back for Janssen. Taken away by Red Bull. Here comes Yengor. Yengor has Choupo-Moting with him. His shot saved by Galese. He got enough of it. Oh, he had the option with Choupo-Moting.
Because Edwards was coming onto it, he mustn't have told Forsberg.
Service from the far side. Janssen gets ahead to it. Brought down. Yengor going for goal off the post.
Just look how close Edwards is. Comes off the post. He's the closest one to it, but can't get on the end of it.
Choupo-Moting met immediately by Janssen. Taken by Atuesta for Orlando. They look for Maguire. He lays this off. Enrique with a chance for the win. Saved by Coronel. Taken off his foot. Tried to play that ball through. Back the other way they come. And this is Maguire with clear run. Ayla now in position to get back. Maguire picks up Santos. Kick save that time. Duncan Maguire. His shot blocked. We've played 6 minutes, and Armando Villarreal says that's all. 2-2.
Okay, and of course, as you all saw, final score, Red Bulls 2, Orlando City 2. Okay, Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting recorded his first career MLS goal with the penalty kick convert. Dennis Yengar, he recorded his first MLS goal, the third of his career. That was his first of the season, third of his career. Peter Stroud, he also recorded his first MLS assist of the season, his second of the career. Raheem Edwards, and this is what I mean by he redeemed himself. He recorded his first assist for New York in the 29th of his MLS career, so he's going to get his. And finally, Sean Nealis made his 139th career appearance, which ties him for guess who? Guess who? Guess who he tied with?
For
his career appearance.
Oh,
Appearances.
139.
Wait.
Guess who?
Dax.
Nope.
Mike Becky? No.
Nope. Aaron Ray Long.
Oh,
in
hey.
franchise history.
Oh, wow.
Most appearances by a defender in Major League Soccer. Told you guys to do your homework. This is what I meant by that. Let's go back to the first 2 goals, okay, which pretty much took a lot of fans by surprise, and it pretty much made folks indignant, Lanre. The first goal was pretty shocking, to be honest with you. You had a chance to put a body on Atuesta, and you didn't, and you let him run.
Atuesta? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he left the game with 2 assists. Okay, left the match with 2 assists, which means defensively, up until that point, gentlemen, the Red Bulls only gave up 1 goal. 1. Okay, they gave up 2 in 45 minutes. Okay, I'll ask you both, and I'm also going to ask everyone in the audience: is it cause for concern?
If I may address
Please.
that question,
Please.
Yes, it's cause for concern. I tell you what, the play of some of these guys in the back, I mean, just going by this game, it was shocking. Okay, that guy Hack, he's a liability. Like I wouldn't even begin to dream that we signed a player like this. Okay, so far, okay. He might turn out to be a world beater for us the rest of the season. But I mean, I don't know how they didn't. Orlando didn't score just because of his mistakes. Okay, and you know what? Noah Eiley still not convincing me. Okay, what's his name was so much better than him. Reyes. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And
unfortunately, he's over in San Diego and
I know,
loving the weather. Last time I heard.
Oh, you know,
Last I
Jeez,
checked, we
man.
happen to have another defender still waiting in the wings and still waiting his turn and chomping at
Okay.
the bit to get in there.
Yeah.
So
Parker.
yeah, Parker, he's waiting around to see what
Yeah, but
when
Parker,
the
I mean,
coach.
how effective could he be? You know,
Other
I
than,
mean,
other than that guy who we just signed for the Saudi second division, man, who's been bumbling and stumbling his way through the
yeah,
first
I
5
guess.
games.
And you
I
know
mean,
what? Another one that I would add
go
to
ahead.
the shocking defender list, Raheem Edwards. Okay, this
Shocking
he was
is extremely
shocking.
kind. Extremely kind. Do you know what I was
All
putting on
right,
Twitter, man? Do you know what I was putting on Twitter
Okay,
no,
go
I
ahead.
didn't see that.
at
I'm
the
sorry.
stadium?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lanre, because I
Okay.
know because you're like Mount Vesuvius right now. You're getting ready to blow up because you were all over that guy. Bleep that Canadian bum you just said.
Time,
I've ne-
time to deport him back. Trade
okay.
wars. Hashtag trade wars.
No, that guy. You know what? That guy better get up to speed quick.
He
Okay,
has to.
because
There's no
because
excuse.
a guy with that experience and he's like he doesn't know about the back line that you have to be and you have to step up. Come on, you know. Oh, and another thing, he might have redeemed himself if he had taken he had like 3 sitters, man. One was definitely like the announcer said, harder to miss than stick it in. All right.
Mm.
So he might
Pause.
have given us the victory, but and that's another thing I got to tell you. Carlos Coronel, man,
Okay.
what a freaking game! He saved
What
our
a game.
butts. Okay,
What a game.
what is there to say? We were able to add another point to our season tally, and that's all because of Coronel. Thank you very much.
Okay. Lanre, you
Thank you,
agree.
Coronel. I
Thank you,
totally
Coronel.
agree.
Thank you,
I
Coronel.
thank you,
Well,
Coronel. He
I mean,
bailed Raheem Edwards out more than anybody.
I agree. He basically put on a clinic. It was almost like he said, "Okay, if you're not going to stop these guys, I guess I will." Because Orlando was pushing; they were pushing for the lead,
Yeah.
and for every chance they had, Cornell had an answer. So for me, at least on that end, not sure about anybody else. I know people are going to say Chupo was basically the game, the man of the match, but for me, it's Cornell because if Cornell hadn't done what he did in the last 10 minutes of the match, it could have been talking about a 3-2 loss
Right.
because he was doing his thing. Now we all, the thing that bothers me about this, and I want you guys to sit back for just a minute. I'm also talking to the folks at folks at the audience here. Okay, this is now we're going into Game 5, right? Okay, Game 5, and I have yet to see this team play a 90-minute game. I have yet to see this team put in a 90-minute performance. 45, 46, maybe 60, maybe 70. 90-minute? No, we know what this team looks like when they put in a full 90-minute performance. Okay, it seems to me that certain players are trying to round themselves into shape. So I have to ask: is it because we didn't have much of a we didn't, of course, naturally the postseason was pretty short, but we didn't have a training camp or anything else. Or it's the fact that some of these guys came up here, out of shape, which is something, for a team, for a system that demands you to be in shape. That can't be good, boys. They really can't be good. I see Hack, bombing up and down, and he's He looks like some guy that we just dragged off the street, holding his own and whatnot. I'm not giving up on the guy, but Edwards, Hack, Ella, they need to step up. I mean, especially Ella. I mean, I remember how he was when he first got here. His game was a hell of a lot sharper defensively than now. I'm not sure what's gone on. I want to bring that out the next time. What's up with him? Is he okay? He looks like he's off his game a little bit. Okay. Nealis can't be out there all by himself trying to do his thing because he's busy. Dylan Nealis, he's doing his thing. He's kind of regressed a little bit. So I'm going to call it like I see it. I mean, I was under the impression, and you guys, you guys in the audience can chime in if you want proof. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I said I was going to be critical with this team, and right now, I don't like what I see. I don't. I was under the impression. The only thing that I was really worried about, fellas, was the offense, not the defense. I figured the defense would be a little bit solid, not just on the field, but also off the bench. And you're trying to tell me that after that match, there's no, bells and whistles going off in the coaching staff? You're joking. Because if we face a team that has pacey forwards, we are in trouble. They're going to tear those guys apart. And then what are you going to say now? I'll let you guys have the floor. You tell me. Am I panicking or is my worries justified?
Very justified. Very justified. Like, you put it, you said it best. We thought we'd have issues with the attack, with the offense, especially with, Lewis Morgan out now for like 6 weeks. Now he just got freaking knee surgery or ankle surgery, whatever.
He'll be out for a minute. So
yeah, he'll be out for a while, and yet our attack has actually looked, rather
please
fluid.
Stop with the Timo talk. Really, unless he is absolutely positively coming here, he ain't. So you're gonna have to deal with the guys you got right now.
I want him.
Yeah, I said what I said. Yeah, I want him too. But there's no guarantee. Okay?
No, of course not, unfortunately.
Okay, we might sign somebody else, possibly someone decent, but
you have a lot of injuries though. Remember that.
That's just it. We got 11 guys on the injury reserve list. 11. That's a starting team. Okay. That's a starting team. That's half your bench.
Crazy.
That's half your bloody bench. Now, good news is some of the guys are working their way off. Okay, Goma, he back. Okay, that was great.
His number.
But then you gotta wrap him up with bubble wrap to make sure he doesn't get killed again. I hate saying it, but every time he steps on the field, I have to hold my breath. I'm like, oh God, please.
Well, you're right.
I get nervous.
Don't break your ankle, man. I know he's sick. I know he is sick of hearing it. Okay. I'm not ready to give up on them. And Nick, you're absolutely right. Isla looked basically out of place on the right. The good thing that made him good was his passing, and I don't see it. He used to thread those balls like a deaf quarterback. Didn't see it. He's I'm not saying he's I'm not going to go so far as saying he's fallen off yet, guys. Not yet. Okay? But
no. He's too young for that.
No, he got to step up. Okay? He got to step up. I understand, he's got to go to the Swedish national team. Oh, by the way, they grabbed him and, left email Forsberg said, "Nah, we don't need you right now. Just stay with your team." It was great for us. Terrific for us, but, he's sticking around for the next couple of games. I would rather him work his way into shape, and he's doing his thing. Okay, he's doing his thing. But there was a time where he made everybody better. He still is. Folks are stepping behind, and that's. I'm not. I always give this team maybe 5, maybe 10 games before I say, all right, y'all need to fix this. We're not there yet. It's still, it's still early. But Miguel, are you calling it, or are you going to wait and see for the next couple of games?
No, I'm going to wait and see. We have to hope for the best. The season just started. I've said it before. You can't win MLS Cup in March. Okay,
damn sure
so
lose it.
You can lose it.
You can lose it. You can't win it.
Sure lose it if you don't start winning games. But
right. But right now, last year, I felt very secure with the guys that we had back there, as as far as defenders. Okay, what I didn't feel secure in is these guys up top scoring any goals. Okay. But man, if we can get lucky to get, let's say 1-0, as in 1-0 to the Arsenal. But if the Rebels got 1-0, right? What are the chances? What are the chances that our defense is going to hold up? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. The chances aren't good. Yeah. And against a better team than Orlando, come on, man. Yeah. We're gonna get destroyed if these guys.
If we face a team, tell me if I'm wrong, Lanre. If we face a team with pacey forwards, okay, and if we catch these guys on a good day, we got issues.
We got massive issues. Those 3-year-old flows
issues if these guys don't get it together. I mean, they don't have to. Here's the thing. I know we're coming close to the break. Here's the thing, okay? Veteran players, they ain't got to go all out. They just have to play smart. And right now, what I'm looking at as far as the midfield the midfield are doing their thing, slightly disjointed, slightly, okay? Not where they need to be replaced outright. They're doing their thing, okay? You got Stroud, Forsberg, got Forsberg, all those guys. They're doing great. They're actually doing great. The only thing that's missing, of course, naturally, you had Cameron Edwards, he's going to be out for about a minute.
Harper.
Okay. Harper, he's going to be out for about a minute. But then Yengar comes up, he steps up a little bit, took him around, but he got his goal. Almost had two. if the post had two. If the post hadn't gotten away.
He should have passed it to Chupo on that break.
He should have.
I agree.
He was putting it to Chupo.
I mean, sometimes I wonder about these young kids. That's a veteran move, right? Your chances of trying to get it past him are slim, but you got an option bombing right on your 6, on your not even on 6, on your 8 o'clock side. You're trying to tell me you're not going to stop, and there was one defender between you and the keeper. That's it. So you're trying to, and you already caught him on the wrong side. And I said that even right then, should have passed the ball, kid. Chupa was right there. We would have made a meal of it. 3-2.
Yeah, but he could have scored anyway if he just had.
He rounded it.
Rounded the keeper. He could have rounded the keeper, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, he's got pace. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, we talked with him after the game. You saw the interview that I posted up. He was cursing. He was cursing in his head. I mean, he had. I can't tell you, in any sport, when you had an opportunity to make your opponent your bitch, excuse my French, and you blow it, you're sitting in the locker room going, you know what? Because damn, you're cursing yourself in your head. You had an opportunity to do that, but he's going to learn from this. And I hate, and Mark is right. We complain if they pass. We complain if they shoot.
We complain if they don't score.
I mean, exactly. I mean, we complain if they pass, and we complain if they shoot. And he's right. I mean, but it's not a complaint. It's an observation for me. Like, you know what? You've been here for a while. It's going to take a while for these players to get to know each other on the pitch. We said this, right? We've said this. It was going to take a while. But unfortunately, where I have no choice but to observe and report, fans like you, Lanre, Miguel, and pretty much everyone here in the audience, they don't have a lot of patience. They want, especially what happened last year, they want to see a dominating team. They want to see some, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 games. They might get that Saturday when Toronto comes into town, who hasn't won a game yet, still looking for their first win. Meanwhile, we only got one win. Lanre and Miguel will tell the story about, what the heck is going on with TFC? When we last heard these guys, this was the same squad, if y'all remember, when they were winning just about everything in sight. Since then, things haven't been so much great for the Red Patch Boys. The saga that is Toronto FC when we return. But first, final scores of Week 4 of Major League Soccer. Our next match, of course, is Red Bulls versus Toronto FC next week at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Okay, I'm waiting for my check, guys. This has been a very interesting series. This is, Red Bulls and Toronto FC have faced each other off many, many times. As a matter of fact, this will be, all time 24, 10, and 11. Over in Harrison, 17, 4, and 2. So they got a dominating performance. And this is going to be the 42nd league, meaning 45th overall. Last win versus Toronto FC. Y'all remember this. Back in October 2024 when they pasted Toronto FC 4-1. However, that was last year. This year, as they stepped on the pitch, there was supposed to be some excitement in the air. There was supposed to be two of their budding superstars was supposed to, iron out their differences and get together, and everything was supposed to be a wonderful kumbaya, right, Lanre? But it's been anything but, I'll let you take over here, man. Tell them what in God's name is going over at TFC?
Well, I think the better question would be, what isn't going on over at TFC? It's been the same old story for the past 3 to 4 years with this club. Just completely rudderless, toothless front office, no direction with where they actually want to go, just signing players for the heck of it. As great and as well pedigreed as Bernardeschi and Insigne are, they were teammates on the European Championship winning 2021 Italy team. Mm-hmm. And, obviously they had a report from that.
They were best friends then. What happened?
They were best friends, despite the fact that they played in rival clubs, Juve and Napoli at the time. But since then, since their arrival in Toronto, the team has been nothing short of a disaster. It's been a complete revolving door of forwards in front of them, defenders behind them. Sean Johnson is completely finished, and they just can't seem to get anything going.
Sean Johnson is one of my favorite players. It's sad to see him in this state. I mean,
I've always liked him too.
I mean, he was much more lively with NYCFC. I mean, since then, it's almost like, Miguel, they sent him up there. He didn't want to go up there, but then he's there. It's like, well, I'm just here for a paycheck. Don't you hate that, Miguel?
Well, you know what, Gary? He's got to be professional about it. He's got to do his best. Maybe he's up there in years that. Obviously, as a player gets older, he's not going to be the player.
Oh, come on. You've seen...
No.
I mean, you've seen keepers, they get better with age.
Sean Johnson is 35, yeah.
I mean, that's just it.
No,
he ain't that old.
He could play... He could be playing like Brad Guzan. Okay, right. But Brad Guzan brings it every freaking game, okay? If he's actually... what's the term? Bottling it? Sean Johnson, then come on, dude. You're playing a game. This is your job. You get to play a game, okay? And you can't give 100% out there, So if that's the case, Gary, I've lost my respect for that guy. Okay.
I have to agree with you there. I mean, you and I are old souls. We've seen ballers supposedly past their prime, right? And they act like Supermen, putting dudes to school. I mean, and you're going, how come you couldn't beat this guy? I mean, and that's basically it. But for what I understand about Toronto, they're charging high price tickets and stuff like that for superstars and everything else, and their fans can't be happy. I'm looking at BMO Field, which used to be rocking back in the day, okay? Putting, teams like, of course, naturally, us to shame that we can't even draw back at it, not too long ago, 11,000 if we had a gun to our heads. But, yes, I can criticize our own fans. I'm allowed to do that. But, it's but
I hate that stupid argument. I'm sorry.
I mean, but then again, they had you see this when they had Giovinco, they were supposed to be the triumvirate, right? They were supposed to be the three-headed dragon that was supposed to take over. Giovinco peaced out, said, I'm done with this. I gotta go. So off he went. Okay. Some club came by and waved some money in his mug and said, "Yo, fellas, I'd love to stick around here in Canada, but peace, I'm out."
Sorry.
Right, pretty much. Peace, I'm out.
Sorry.
So now you got these two, and both of these guys want to be the man. However, I'm still holding out hope that somebody in the front office can just simply walk right up to the Bernarduzzi and wave some money in his mug and bring him over, to New York. Forget about this, the guy that, forget about him. Bring him over and watch this team explode in the midfield. Good God. You're going to see, things will get better, in a hurry with him. Because Bernarduzzi, he a baller. Listen, look. You may not be the big man on this stage, but you're definitely going to be the big man on this one. So, what's your price? So, but that's just it. It's also, and Lisa, you hit the nail right on the head because some time ago, matter of fact, 3 years to this date, I said about all the spending, right? And I said, you know what? Be careful what you wish for. Not every team can be throwing money at ballers and get the exact results. And this is what's going on with TFC. They're throwing money at this team, and it's nothing is working. They threw a big, they threw money at the coach. They threw, the guy who's now coaching for LA, Greg Vanny. They had him, remember? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. No, Vanny was supposed to be the man. Fans got so upset, they kicked him out. Okay, they had Chris Armas. Chris Armas was never going to work. I kept telling people, so look, you think? I mean, it's like, no, Chris Armas is going to do great. He's going to, man. Those fans have less patience than you guys, and you think that's going to work? They look at it. They look at it and hang him from the CN Tower. They look at it and hang this dude from the CN Tower. People had enough of his nonsense by the All-Star break. So they try to send him. Those fans, they bring it, and they're no slouches. I mean, we tease those guys every year about the Maple Leafs and of course the Blue Jays and everything else, but those are hardcore fans. They are. I always give these guys my heart, and they deserve to have a championship team, but they haven't been that way for the last couple of years.
They've won the championship already, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what? The Canadian
One of the
championship?
3 attempts.
No.
MLS Cup
It's just
2017.
them,
They've
Montreal,
won
and everybody else.
No. They've won MLS Cup. Yeah,
Okay,
so.
yeah,
8
they
years
won.
ago.
There's a star over their crest, unlike ours. So there's a star over their crest. This is when they were within one game of winning the CONCACAF Champions League. One.
We would have beaten them to win that, by the way. We would have beaten them in that final had we made it.
Well,
The real final was Chivas Red Bulls.
I mean, the certain player for the Red Bulls gave up a ball that led to a 1-0 defeat. And there you go. So
The referee also should have sent off.
yes, I
players
know. Yes, I
choking
know.
our guys.
I know. Yes, I know. But if you give up the ball to certain players and everything else, so all right. Lanre, gonna start with you. Pound for pound. Okay, keep in mind a lot of our guys are going to be out. Okay, for international break. Reason number 5,756,322 is the reason why I can't stand it when MLS plays through international breaks. You should have just taken the weekend off, like every other soccer league in the world. But you're not going to do that. And
it's burger league crap, man. It's cheeseburger league crap.
Yeah, but Messi, and we need to make our money and blah blah blah. Okay, but
Gary, this
enough
is what I
about that.
told you. This is what I told you. This is another reason that the MLS calendar should align with the
And I
European
did
calendar.
not disagree.
There you go.
Seriously, I've always agreed with that. I always agree.
Okay.
Did not
Oh, sorry,
disagree.
what'd you ask
My
me?
girlfriend thinks it's a great idea. Stop being afraid of the NFL, but NFL is the king of sports in this country for a reason. And right behind them is college football. So while we're playing in a very frigid Sports Illustrated Stadium, everybody else is in Piscataway or up the road at MetLife Stadium watching their team try to beat
My teams are the Jets and Rutgers. I don't give a crap about football, to be honest. And honestly, like we're only here's the thing. See with the calendar.
I don't have a college team.
Let me tell you something about the calendar, right? So yeah, I know we'd be playing in frigid conditions and all that, but one, we'd have a winter break, and two, it's not about the early season games that matter the most.
Right.
It's the end of the season. We have the playoffs.
That's when things get stupid. I mean,
right.
I mean, if you can't get excited over that, and I agree with you, Lanre, if you got a couple of teams within, I don't know, maybe 3-4 points away from from the playoff round and trying to get in it or trying to stay in it, things get nuts. Okay, that's the playoff before the playoff. Imagine that for a second.
Yeah, Gary. One more thing.
The fight for me.
Gary. Gary, there seems like I'm just reading Mark's comment there. There seems to be this thing that, if you can't play in the real cold weather, you could start the second half of I've said it before like 1,000 times. You could start the second half of the season like down south or down in warm weather stadiums. There's a couple of domes even that MLS teams can use, the one in Montreal, the one in Vancouver, So, I mean, if you start the season off in February, that it wouldn't be out of the question if you started in warm weather cities. Okay, every team now plays in February. Okay,
I agree with that. So, the only headache, of course, with that is that I would like it if they play basically in their own stadiums, but that's not quite feasible. First of all, our winters is not like Europe's winters. Most of it is mild. Some of it is non-existent. Okay, when it comes to snow, the most heaviest thing they have for me, depending on where you are in the hemisphere, you're getting a lot of rain, you're getting a lot of snow. That would probably be the big drawback. Up in Minneapolis, where the temperatures can drop for anywhere between 15 to 20 below zero, that sometimes,
Minneapolis,
I would say you would move into a dome facility. I mean, you would have no choice unless you want your fans to freeze. That's insane. But
Minneapolis would start down south.
Of course, they'd be in Florida,
Dallas, and Florida
or California. You got four. You got four. I mean, right? You got 4 squads down there, or Texas. Okay, anywhere down south. And if you have to, schedule one game away from a southern city. And call it with that. There's a lot of logistics that have to be ironed out before they even consider this. And if they thought that, trying to rationalize pro-rel is a thing, try this. there's a lot, there's a lot of expats that would like to see it happen. I've had one guy at my job tell me, if they make it like that, I will be there. And I'm looking like, yeah, okay, you're not even be there during your Jets games in January. Don't start that with me. But
I mean, who wants to go to a Jets game even in August, September, October? The Jets are not worth forking out your hard-earned money to see. I'm saying this as a Jets fan who's questioned why the hell I haven't switched yet.
I can't see why they couldn't put a retractable roof over, over the cathedral. It can be done. It's going to cost them a lot of money, but it can be done. So that's the end of that. Meanwhile, of course, when we were all talking and everything else, there is one game. Gotham FC did start their wonderful season earlier, today, and we do have a final score. Hang on for 1 second. Yesterday, they actually did play. Saturday, as a matter of fact. Saturday did play. 1-1 was the final score. Seattle ran over Gotham FC. It was a very testy affair. Somebody got a red. Mandy Freeman got a red card in the 87th minute. It was pretty controversial, Lanre. A lot of people didn't think she didn't deserve that red card, but she got one. So, yeah, it's so she'll be sitting down for about a bit. Gotham FC's next home match would be this Sunday, the 23rd. Oh, yeah. Versus Orlando Pride over at Sports Illustrated Stadium. So go see the ladies. Go have a good time. The weather, I hope, would be a little better than what we've been going through. Meanwhile, New York Red Bull 2 is fighting it out with Philadelphia Union 2. And the last we check on that score, hang on for 1 second, as my today. Right now, it's in the 85th minute, and Philadelphia Union still holding on to a 1-0 lead. The next game for New York Red Bull 2, in case anyone is interested, they'll be at home on the next home would be, on the 30th versus NYCFC 2 at, guess where, fellas? Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Gary.
Yes, they're going to be opening up there. Yes, Gary. They're going to open up the home season there. Not over at at the sports park. No, not over there. They're not going to be over there. They're going to be at we already got the information from the Red Bulls 2. They're opening up at Hamlet Sports Illustrated Stadium, I believe, on a Saturday or Sunday. But more to that. So if you have a chance to go see the boys, now you got an excuse. Red Bull Arena is right. See, here we go again. This is why I'm calling it the Cathedral, because I'm getting mixed up and calling Sports Illustrated Stadium and, of course, Red Bull Arena. I'm calling it the Cathedral from this point out.
No,
go
Gary,
see them. Go see them. Go ahead.
At the Illustrated, Gary. I want to get that going. Okay.
At the Illustrated now.
The Illustrated. Okay, thank you.
Good Lord. Okay, but as I said, Sunday, March 30th is the home opener for New York Red Bulls 2 at the Illustrated. You happy now? Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Versus New York City. It's the junior division of the Hudson River Derby. And they'll be facing off there. The kickoff time is at 2 p.m. So, with less than a couple of minutes before we sign off, let's talk about predictions, which is probably the most dangerous part of our segment. How do you see this game, Lanre? I mean, I'm looking at trap game all over the place.
You wouldn't be wrong. You and Miguel were definitely saying that earlier, especially Miguel on the pre-show that this has only make him to the trap game. I wouldn't be surprised to see another draw, but I do think we squeak out a win, especially because I don't believe Chupa was called up, was he, for Cameroon?
No.
Oh, that's actually shocking. He's a captain. Okay, Chupa wasn't called up, and we'll still have Forsberg. So I think we'll definitely have the edge over Toronto. I say we notch a 2-0 win.
Okay, you said 2-0. Miguel, your thoughts, sir?
Listen, Gary, I'm thinking trap game all the way. There isn't a better place for a team that's fighting relegation. Okay, and I say that facetiously, of course, but there's
when do you
there's
never
not a,
when do you
Like
ever
you said.
don't say anything facetious? Go ahead.
there's not a better
Like you
place.
said.
There's not a better place for a cellar-dwelling team to come than to the Illustrated, formerly the Cathedral of Football Rebel Arena, built by Makita, to start off their season. I fully expect TFC to come to Harrison, New Jersey, and win. There, I said it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So you're calling it a win. Yours
I'm
truly.
telling
He's too high up the Arsenal win. He's saying some crazy stuff. He's saying some crazy stuff. He's too high up the Arsenal
I'm
fluke.
surprised.
because Enzo
I'm
Ball
surprised
sucks.
you.
Listen.
I'm surprised you two haven't carpet bombed each other with insults after this match throughout the
come
show.
on. Come on.
Plus, it's going to be a good crowd, as Lisa pointed out. It's fireworks night, so hopefully, I mean, fans do come out for the fireworks, which is all.
Yeah. Also, one more thing. I'm hoping for the best. I hope they prove me wrong, but alas, I will not be in attendance as I will be in Delaware this weekend. Okay, so hopefully the guys can get us the victory.
I won't be in attendance either.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
okay.
me and my girlfriend will not be in attendance.
Okay. Get a room, you two. Anyway. Anyway. This may come as a shock to some people, but I'm gonna call it a 2-2 draw.
Oh.
I hope I'm proven wrong, okay? But remember what I said about our suddenly leaky defense, right? Okay.
Right, yeah.
So I'm hoping that this team has a nice heart-to-heart talk about opportunities like that getting left on the table and start playing like the conference conference championship champions that they are. Okay. Because teams are getting themselves together very early, and if you don't get it going, it's going to be very difficult to get out from where you are. Right now, they're 15th place. Okay, they're in 10th place. They need to get it going here. You can't stay near the cellar for very long. With these teams, I mean. Everyone says that you're going to be probably in 7th place when it's all said and over. I think you're going to be. I honestly believe that this team has a chance to finish higher than that if they start the bleeding now and start putting some respectability back in their name. Because right now, for the last couple of games, I'm not seeing it. I mean, and that's a shame for me. I don't want to sound like the one that's always feel like Chicken Little, that hey, the sky is falling, whatever the case may be. But here's hoping they just simply do just that. Next week we'll be back here, of course, along with Mark and of course with Nicholas, and of course, guess who's coming next week, boys? Anthony Merced will make his regularly scheduled appearance monthly, of course, with another segment of one more thing of the Red Bull download, and he might have some information on Mr. The guy, that's the one who wants everyone to be signed. That's right, Lanre, that dude. But we haven't heard anything from Ooh. Red Bulls 2 just tied up the game.
All right.
1-1 as we're coming. Like I said, we're getting all this information. We're getting this information hot and heavy, and it looks like they tied it up and so they're not going to go away in a good night. Remember, MLS Next Pro games go directly into overtime. They're going to they're going to shootout after 90 minutes, right? They don't go to overtime. They're going to shootouts after that. Last I checked, so who knows?
What is this? What is this? 1996 MLS? Come on.
What do you want to do? If they can walk, hey, look, let's put it this way: if they can come home after 2 games undefeated versus NYCFC 2, I think fans will get a little excited, whatever the case may be. So, with that said and done, we are now at the end of our show. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us in the last hour. As I said, if you missed the show that's going to live right now, don't forget we do have a YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Me and the gentleman would be more than happy if you did, and that way you can also be alerted for any new episodes that come online because they get uploaded the very next day. So you can check with them, of course, on YouTube and, of course, our home, which it had been from the very first beginning because Lanre suggested it, Spotify.com. So we're also there as well. Next week, we have Mark Coates and, of course, Lanre. Not Lanre. He's going to be away for a while. Nicholas Lianos and, of course, our special guest, which is the one and only Anthony Merced. So, for Miguel Nunez, Lanre Badmus, and myself, Gary Redmond, thank you guys so much for joining us. We shall see you all next week. Let's hope that our predictions were very wrong. I hope the Red Bulls
right.
Mine was right. That's what mine's right.
And Lanre's case very right. And we hope to see you guys then. Hope you guys see me. It's fireworks night, folks. Fill the house up. Should be fun. Should be fireworks on and off the field. Till then, thanks for joining us. Good night and goodbye for now.